Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. I think this video might bring in a few new people, so if you're new here, I'm also so glad that you're watching this video. My name's Kat, I'm a UK planner person. I've been in the planner community since like February 2016, so a long time. And in that time, I have been on the hunt for a functional planner that will work for me, and I still haven't found one. But I think we might have found it. So let's talk about it. Today's video is going to be an unboxing of the LAUREL DENISE Undated Horizontal Planner. If you haven't heard of this company before, their planners are really different. They take elements of what we know and love from previous planners and just it in a layout that has blown my mind. And I'm so excited to have this planner. I think it answers a lot of the issues that I've had in the 7 years that I've been in the planner community on the hunt for a functional planner. I've tried everything. I've only been on YouTube for about the last 3 years, but there are a lot of videos on my channel of me going through blackout journals, vertical 7x9s, horizontal planners, Hobonichi, bullet journals. I've tried everything when it comes to functional planning. I actually have a specific video called To All the Planners I've Loved Before where I really address this. So it might be worth you going to watch that video and then coming back and watching this to gain some context as to how long the hunt has been on for me to find the perfect functional planner. And I found the LAUREL DENISE company a couple of months ago. And my personality is very much get obsessed with something, be really obsessed with it for a short amount of time and then drop it. And I really didn't want to be that way about this planner. A planner is a really big investment and I didn't want to buy something I didn't think I would use. So I have spent a lot of time researching. I think I've watched every LAUREL DENISE video that's on YouTube, whether that's by somebody who's unboxing the planner or doing Plan With Me's in it, or the LAUREL DENISE company themselves. They have a really fun YouTube channel where they make really fun videos. Whether or not you buy the planner, I think it's worth subscribing to their content because they're just really fun, energetic people. And I feel like this planner answers everything I've been looking for that hasn't worked for me in other planners. And the more I thought about it, the more I knew I needed to have this planner. I know that some of you are thinking, Kat, you said that about all the other planners that you've bought. And I admit that. If I end up changing my mind, I'm very honest on this channel. You'll know about it. But I think this is going to be the one for me. So I'm really excited to unbox this for you today. So I'm going to show you the sort of guts of the planner and how it's different. So you're going to see where all of that comes from. But first off, let's talk a little bit about what the company offers and then price, because that's probably the big thing that you want to know. So we'll start there up front. So LAUREL DENISE has two different types of layouts. They have vertical layouts and horizontal layouts. And gang, if you've been here for a while, we're going back to horizontal. We're going back to 2018 Kat, but we'll talk about why I've decided to go for the horizontal. And they have dated and undated planners. Mine is undated because ultimately I'm filming this in May and it would be a bit of a waste for me to have a dated planner. It's positive of having an undated planner is really good for someone like me who changes their planning system mid-year. So I'm really excited that they offer undated. They do also have a couple of kind of additional planners away from their flagship one. So they have a project planner, which in its current form is this kind of like floppy insert that you can use. It's not really like a planner with rings or a coil or anything. And then they also have a teacher planner, which came out a couple of days ago from when I'm filming this. So there is quite a range. There's not necessarily a huge range of covers. So I'm just showing you the web page here. So you can see we've got the project planner here. These are just the undated. We've got the project planner, we've got the two horizontals, and we've got the two verticals. This pattern on the box, I absolutely love, and it actually matches the vertical planner. And if I could have had my choice, I think I probably would have picked this cover, but ultimately the horizontal came in these two covers, and you'll see which one I have chosen, but I'm really happy with the one that I've got. Let's talk about the price. So this planner is priced at $55, which for the amount that's in here, I think is absolutely fine. And hopefully once you've seen it, you would agree, but I think that they've priced it well in terms of other similar planners that are on the market. Obviously, I'm based in the UK, and so the issue for me is always shipping. So you have two different options when you purchase from the US if you live in the UK or Europe as well, that you could use a mail forwarding service. And the one that I use is Stackry, which is based in the US. I have mail shipped there to a US address, so I pay US domestic shipping, and then I will have them combine parcels for me and have them shipped to the UK. Or you can have it shipped direct to you. There are definitely some benefits to services like Stackry in that if you're ordering particularly a lot of lighter weight items like stickers, to keep having those shipped from a US shop to here is a lot to pay in shipping. And so it's easier to have it shipped to Stackry. They can then combine the packages for you, and you only have to have it shipped once to the UK to save the money. So I use Stackry a lot for pretty much everything I buy from the US because I mostly buy stickers. I will use Stackry. However, I do not think that a planner is a good thing to send to Stackry because Stackry's shipping from the US to the UK, I often use Global Mail, which is their cheapest mailing option, but it's still not cheap. I would say I pay about $17 every time I have a package of stickers shipped here. That is a fair amount in shipping, and a planner is much heavier and much bigger than a little envelope of stickers. So I decided to have this shipped directly to me, and I have to say I am so impressed with how speedy it was. And whilst I recognise that Laurel Denise can't control that, I think they do choose the shipping companies they use to benefit their international customers. So I think I put in the order for this on Sunday. Laurel Denise shipped it on Monday, which is, I'm so wow by that, because it did say it could take 3 to 4 days. So to have it shipped the day after, amazing. And that was this Monday of the week I'm filming this, and it's now Thursday. What? It came within 4 days. I've never had anything from the US ship that quickly. And they use FedEx rather than UPS. It said on their website they've had some issues with UPS, so they'd rather not use them. And so it did cost me $40 for them to ship it with FedEx. I'll pay $40 if I can have something within 4 days. Because stuff in the US takes at least 4 days to get across the country to Stackry. So I'm so impressed by this. And it's really reassuring for me as a UK customer. Again, I know that Laurel Denise can't control the shipping, but the fact that they have thought about it, they've picked a company that they know, even if it's a little bit pricier, is going to get it to me quicker. That puts a lot of faith in me as a customer to continue to use them. So I'm personally really happy with that. You obviously have to make your own decision, but I say this as somebody who orders from the US a lot. I'm very impressed by the speed for the amount that I paid. So whilst it maybe put me off a little bit longer to order because I really, really wanted this planner, but I was like, do I want to spend that like £40 on shipping, like nearly as much as the planner? And once I used the 10% code, basically the same as the planner. Yeah, it was worth it for me. You have to make your own decision, but it was worth it for me. So it comes in this box, which I really like, and it had an external box around it. So it's got no tape. It's not even got tape here. Can you see that? I have to be very zoomed out to film this because this planner is big. So it has no tape or anything here. So the box is perfect. And if you watch any of Laurel Denise's content, you will realize that these are people that love planners and they've really thought about things we would love in a planner. And I bet that's something that Laurel Denise have thought about. So let us open up the box. So we then have the inside, and the planner is wrapped in tissue paper, which I love. And then it's got this little sign on it which says planners for the way you think, which when you see the planner, this is going to make a lot of sense to you. And their color scheme, I really don't mean this to sound insulting because I don't mean it that way, but I really think the colors clash, but it's intentional. You can see we've got the sort of pale of the blue, but with bright neon pink grid lines. We've got this predominantly blue package, but with this kind of terracotta tissue paper and then bright pink neon on the sign. It's super interesting and it actually really works. They have a pencil case which is like pastel on the outside and neon on the inside. It's fun. So let us lift the planner out, and I'm gonna need to put the box on the floor because, as I say, this planner is quite big, so it's about trying to find room. So we've got it inside the tissue paper, and again, this is where I really think they've thought of this because it's not sealed on either side, which means I can keep the tissue paper intact. So I can keep the tissue paper, which I'm really happy about because I do keep a lot of packaging from stuff that I buy. So I really like that I can do that. Then the planner is in bubble wrap, so keeping it super protected on its journey over here to the UK. And I'm really happy with how well this has traveled. Not everything travels well from the US to the UK, so I'm super happy about it. So then we have the planner. Did you guess that I'd gone for the blue? I feel like if anyone knows me here, you probably knew I went for blue. There's a few reasons that I went for the blue one. The first one is that my word of the year for 2023 is peace, and this screams peace to me. And a lot of my journey with my word of the year, it's also the first name of my brand name, which I understand is maybe a little bit confusing, but I have a goals video, you can watch it. I talk about it there. But it's about me finding peace in myself, peace in life, but also just experiencing peace and sort of calmer feelings. And I think that a really neutral kind of duck egg blue planner is peaceful. So I really, really like that. And whilst I would have picked a busier cover probably, I actually like that it's so neutral and calm. I feel really calm looking at it, and I think that's a really good thing. Also, blue is one of my brand colors, as is yellow, so it also kind of works from that respect. So one thing I want to talk to you about is how big this planner is, because I don't know how easy it's going to be for you to figure that out whilst we're on camera. So I'm gonna just pop my iPad here so that you can see the stats here. So the main thing I think you need to look at are this closed planner and the open planner. So when the planner is closed, including the coil, it's 12.7 inches wide and 9.2 high. And when it's open, it's 24 inches wide and 9.2 high. This is a big planner. I'm just going to grab a couple of planners for comparison because I think it might be useful, because it was one of the criticisms I have about the EC teacher planner that nobody actually showed how big it was and I couldn't get the scale on camera. So I'm going to grab some things to help give you some context. Okay, so if you own an EC teacher planner, I think that's the best comparison in size here, but it's even bigger than that. But also your EC teacher planner would be this way. So it's different. It's wide. We're going to open this way. I don't even know how we're going to do that on camera, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, so this is probably the biggest thing I could say in terms of scale. And most of you have never had a teacher planner, so that's also not helpful to you. So let me show you a much more common planner, which is a 7x9 functional planner. This is my memory planner. So you can see that height-wise, we're looking at the same. It's just we have masses more space here. And when we show you the internals of the planner, it's going to make a lot more sense. But this is probably the best guide I can give you for size. I then also want to show you my A5 Hobonichi. I know a lot of you are Hobonichi lovers, and it is taller than a Hobonichi, but it's kind of 2 Hobonichis wide. So again, I hope that's useful, but we're really going up. So this was the planner that I thought I was going to be using to be my functional planner this year. I'd invested all my time. Look, I even tabbed this thing. I used some of my precious free spare tabs from Passion Planner on this. In fact, do I have a passion planner I could show you? Let me find my passion planner. Really feel that what this video is doing is showing you all how many functional planners I have tried. So it is shorter than the passion planner in terms of height, and it's bigger that way. But I would say, you know, if you like a passion planner, this is a big planner. So this is just an even bigger planner. I thought I would be using the Hobonichi, but what I found with the Hobonichi is that it has monthly and weekly and daily. And that's a lot of places to write plans. I was planning to use the daily for journaling. I don't like journaling. It doesn't matter how many times I try it, I just don't like it. So the daily pages, I was sort of filling unnecessarily. I didn't really need the daily to-do list. I spend half my week at home, half my week in the office. A light planner is kind of good, but I don't get my planner out at work. So that was not the one. So then it was like, okay, well, I don't need to use the daily. I can just use the weekly and the monthly. But the fact that the monthly is in one place and the weekly is in another, I don't flick around my planners. I can't have a weekly spread in one place and a monthly spread in another. And that has always been my issue with functional planners, is that my brain works in a way that I need everything in one space. And I've always thought that's not possible. No one can create a planner that has everything in one place and change my life. And then Laurel Denise. Let me take you on the tour. So we open up the planner. The cover is a hard cover. If you've ever had a Moxie Life, I've also had a Moxie Life planner, but I don't have my Moxie Life anymore. But the cover is the same. It's a hard cover, not a laminated cover like an EC. So it's, how do I think it weighs? I mean, it's not a very big planner. It's really not very thick, so it doesn't weigh a lot, but the cover feels heavy duty if you were going to carry this around. I mean, this is like the size of a laptop, so I don't know whether you would necessarily carry it around, but if you wanted to, I think it's kind of robust in that way. So I've zoomed out my phone so you can see the full width of this planner. I'm probably going to zoom back in after that because I think I'm losing the quality being this zoomed out, so that's something for me to note for when I film anything in this planner. But it is wide. I have the corner desk. It's the IKEA Mickey desk. I have an office tour on my channel if you want to watch it. And this is basically kind of the width of my IKEA desk. So it takes up a lot of space, but to be honest, it doesn't overwhelm me. I have a lot of space here in front of me. I have a lot of space behind me in the corner of my desk. And if you had a normal rectangle desk, this would just take up space in front of you. So I'm cool with the size. It actually doesn't overwhelm me, and we'll see why, because of the insides of the planner just work with the way my brain works. But it is a big planner. You have to be prepared for that. It has a wire coil, so you can bend the planner back on itself if you want to. Wire coils are not perfect for that. They're not my favorite coils. Moxie Life use wire for a lot of their planners, as do Cultivate What Matters. I've used every planner, and wire is not my favorite. This, as far as wire goes, is relatively robust, but earlier on I was testing out the planner, and when I wanted to close it, it does get stuck a little bit. So that's just the nature of a wire coil, something you kind of get used to if you use them, but it's, you know, it's important that you're aware. But in terms of the size, to me, it doesn't overwhelm me. It's just fun. It's just so much place to plan in. But let me zoom back in so that we get the quality back, and let me show you the rest of the planner. First up, we have this pocket. I love the green. I would love this as a front cover. It's so cute and it's so me. I just love it. I would love it even more in yellow. This pocket is really like a thick material, and so if you wanted to put any inserts in here, any stickers or anything, you could definitely do that. It feels very robust. I tend not really to use my pockets, but you know, if you wanted to, it's definitely a fun one. And the thing I would say about a wire is that it's a bit easier to add and remove pages or tabs and things like that if you want to. So one of the things included here is a hole punched ruler, and it has this sizing on it, which I think is probably related to the sizing of the horizontal, and it's really easy to snap it in and out. I think I could probably use, in fact, let me test. I have these Moxie Life tabs, so yeah, I can snap these in as well if I wanted to. So that's fun because I don't have the Moxie Life anymore. So if I can use those, that's fun. So yeah, you can definitely snap things in and out, which I think is really great. And the Laurel Denise team do talk about sort of snapping in extra pages and things like that as well. And that is, I think, the plus of the Wire-O. Then we have these monthly tab stickers, because on the end of the planner, we have undated tabs. So I can then add the month. So I can start this in May, which is, I love this. I love that they've thought about it. The fact that we have the undated is obviously great, but I love that I can stick on the tabs in the order that I want to use it so that I don't have to waste any months. I think that's so fun. So then we have the front page, which just says Laurel Denise Planner. It's approved by Laurel Denise. You can obviously write your name and then who to contact if found. These are then the tab pages. They are a very thick GSM. The tab pages, I would say that they feel like card. So in terms of kind of worrying about like ripping them or something, this would be quite hard to rip. So that's good. It feels really high quality. And then we basically get into what the layout looks like. So let's start from left to right. So on the left, we have the monthly spread. So we have the monthly calendar here, and something that I'm going to point out, just because I don't remember seeing anybody point this out and I didn't know it was a thing, is that we have a tiny little line here, which I think means that if you were going to stick a sticker where you would put in the date, it's to kind of make sure that they're lined up along each one, which again, I think is Laurel Denise thinking about sort of, you know, some of us planner people, we lean towards perfectionism, so it's featured there. And then this is where you would put in the days of the week. So it does mean that you can Sunday start or Monday start. I mean, I will never understand those of you who Sunday start. I will never get it. In the UK, we are Monday start people. So I would always do it on a Monday, but it means you can do it on a Sunday. And also write in the month, the year, or you could sticker over this if you wanted to. I think there are some shops that are considering making stickers specifically designed for this. I'm not going to be using sticker kits in this because I've tried sticker kit use in two planners and it's just too much. So I might use some other stickers. I might use some journaling kits. I might use some like pretty stickers or just some florals or something, but I'm probably not going to be buying specific sticker overlays, but we'll see, because I have planner face ones I could use. So let's never say never. But we have that. And then we get into the weekly part. So you do your monthly planning and then you literally can see your weekly on the same page. And I can't tell you how much it's blown my brain that someone has figured out a way to do this, because this is the exact issue that I'm having. What I was saying about the Hobonichi, it has a monthly and a weekly, but in separate pages. And I just can't. I don't know what it is about my brain. I can't flick between them. Now I don't have to. So the insides I've gone for, as I said, I've gone for the horizontal. So this is the undated weekly. So you can see here, you basically have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday here, Friday, Saturday, Sunday here. And then you have the to-do, which is the same as I have in the horizontal. And it actually took me about a week of very indecisive thinking to decide whether or not to go for the weekly or the horizontal. I am predominantly a weekly person. I do a lot of my work, well, all of my work planning happens on an Outlook calendar, which is vertical, Monday to Friday, and then I can add Saturday and Sunday if I want to. Gmail apps are vertical. The phone app on my phone is vertical. You know, I think vertically in terms of planning my day. So I always thought that I was going to get the vertical. The reason that I decided to get the horizontal is because the vertical width is very small. The nature of more of this planner is giving over to the monthly and what's on the right side, that your weekly is small, and it is just something you need to be aware of because it's not going to be for everybody. Laurel Denise has very small handwriting, and so I think that the weekly really works for her. I got concerned about whether or not the weekly would have enough room for me. The other issue is that I tried weekly planning in my Hobonichi planner and I just didn't get on with it. I plan my day with my work calendar. My Outlook calendar runs my life. So I don't actually need to write that out again. And you'll see here that they have like a times on the left-hand side, which you don't have to use, but you can make it an hourly planner. And I've tried it, it didn't work. So I've decided to just be different. This planner is, everything about it is different. So I decided to go to my roots, which are horizontal. So if you don't know, when I first started in the planner community, I did very early start with a vertical happy planner. And then I switched to a horizontal EC planner in 2017. And I had one for like 2.5 years. I was known in the community. It's kind of where I made my name originally, was as a horizontal planner. And I filmed videos before where I flicked through some of my old planners, and I really missed my horizontal planners whenever I do that. I know I can plan in horizontal. I've decided to go back. And we'll see. And I might hate it. If I do hate it, I could turn this vertical. That was the other thing I decided. That if I really struggled to do this in horizontal, I could turn it vertical and then just make these different sections or something. It wouldn't be totally ideal, but I think I could do it if I really had to. The same as you could do it the other way. You could turn the vertical one horizontal if you wanted to. So both of them are flexible, but I decided to go with horizontal. I haven't fundamentally decided what I'm going to use this for yet. But what I'm thinking is I mostly want to use this for content planning. If you haven't noticed, if you're new here, I have been trying to ramp up my content production. I have done a couple of things to help with that this year. I bought a MacBook. So that was a big thing in upgrading my editing because I have run my channel exclusively from my phone, filming, editing, all my thumbnails, everything I've done from my phone for 3 years. I decided it was time to upgrade. I got myself a MacBook. Editing has become so much easier. I've still got a lot to learn, but editing has become easier by upgrading to a MacBook. I still film on my phone, but I've upgraded. I'm now putting out 3 videos a week very consistently, and I actually have too many videos right now to fit in my schedule. So I could maybe put out more, but I'm worried about running out of steam. So I'm still trying to balance that. And this monthly is going to help me do that. It's to help me schedule out my videos, to help figure out what's going to go live when, to also forward plan what I need to film, what content's going to go out at what time. I started a book channel last year, which I have recently decided is moving back to my planning channel. So you get a little bit of both content from me on here, planning and reading. And the issue with that is that everything happens at the turn of the month. We need to do reading wrap-ups, we need to do kit lineup videos, all that kind of stuff needs to happen. So I need to also map out what videos should go live on what day to still be relevant for you to watch. So all of that's going to happen on the left-hand side. The right-hand side of the planner is where I'm actually going to be mapping out various content things. So the middle section with the weekly, your weekly is just like this. So your month never goes, your weekly just flicks by. For I assume there's probably 5 in every week, I would think, so that the weeks you have 5 weeks, you have the 5. In fact, let me count it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then we have on the back just a plain dot grid, and then we have a big dot grid page. which is split by a line. And in fact, this is actually plain paper. This is dot grid. So anything that you sort of want to write that you can't necessarily share on the internet, this is very helpful for me as somebody who can't share stuff about my normal full-time job. I could probably put here. It would help me when filming content, because if I don't flick to that page, you're not going to see it. So I really like that. And then you can also have stuff that you layer out here, but you can also kind of split here. So what I am thinking of doing is I want to have sort of checklists for each part of my content. So like film, edit, upload, description, thumbnail, Instagram, schedule, whatever that is. I ideally want to have those along here, and then I tick them off as each thing is happening. I don't know whether I will need to do that across the full page, because I don't know how easy it would be to write the name of the video. I would have liked to have just done it here, but we've kind of got like, I don't know, maybe 10 boxes, and I don't know if that's enough space, but we're working on it, you know, we're going to see what works. And this is very easy to flick, so that's not going to really bug me too much. You could also tab up like where you want to put the weekly. So like you can put the ruler from the first bit in at the weekly in case you want to like be able to flick back to it easily. I obviously have these smaller ones from Moxie Life as well, if I wanted to put those in there. So very easy to like have things that I can tab and flip to, even if I'm working on this full spread. So I really like that. Then on the end part, we have this bit, which is to do this month. And the Laurel Denise team are very pro post-it note. Let me grab a post-it for like sizing. So I have these ones from Scribble Prints Co., which are like normal post-it brand size, and they're just going to look so cute there. You know, a post-it's just going to really work. I want to invest in some longer post-its. The Laurel Denise team have a pack of post-its on their website, so you can definitely have a look at those because they're kind of designed to fit this. I unfortunately didn't pick them up just because the nature of how much I was paying in shipping, but I would have really liked to have had them because I think they are like perfectly designed for this planner. But I will figure something out here in terms of post-it. So yeah, really fun. And that's basically the planner. So we have 1 month, and then we turn the tab and we go to the next month, and we have exactly the same thing. We have the, you know, 5 weeks, and we flip and we have this. So I'm so excited about this because this just is the way my brain is. I love that I have everything in one place. I don't mind that it will be open on my desk. I don't think it takes up too much space. I think it really works. So that's the bulk of the planner, and the plus of it being undated means if I do fall off it for any month, or there's a month where I think I don't need it, I can still pick it up later without wasting it because it's not dated. So that's really fun. Then let's flick to once we've had the kind of final week. So the final week doesn't have a tab. So this page I would say is maybe slightly thinner than a tab page. Yeah, this is slightly thinner than a tab page. These insert weeklies are thinner paper than the tab pages because they don't need to be as thick, but I still think they're really good quality. They still feel very thick and premium. Then we flick to the back section, and there are a couple of pages in this back part for us to look at. So the first one we have here is a goals section. So this is where you can put the month, the goals, and things to remember, and then you have the dot grid to write anything extra. I don't really know whether I want to do this page. I'm not very good at goals planning right now. I did some overarching goals for the year, and as I say, I do have a kind of goals mind map video on my channel if you want to check that out. But I don't really know whether I want to specifically do any goal planning in here. I have a very love-hate relationship with it, so we'll see. But things that could be good to mention in here are, particularly if you're using this planner for social media content planning, which is what a lot of people seem to use this planner for, you could definitely mark if there are like releases or anything you need to be aware of that you would need to promote. Goals could maybe be, I might just write down how many Instagram followers I have, how many YouTube subscribers I have, and mark how that grows. That's something I would be keen to do. My growth is not very big or quick, but it would maybe be good to track that, to maybe recognize it maybe moves more than I think it does. So I'm still on the fence about what I use this for, but I think it's really good that it has it, and again, undated, so you can add it as you want to. Then we have these pages, which are kind of checklist pages. And I know that what some people are doing, and I do think it's perfect for that, is for content creation, because it has these dedicated columns. So it's really easy to write, you know, like film, edit, upload, schedule, etc. and then tick it off as you do each thing. This is perfect for that. The downside is that it's not on that monthly overview. So for me, I don't really want to invest in doing that process in the back here because I want to do it in the monthly. So I'm not sure what I will use this for. There are a lot of ideas on the Laurel Denise Instagram and YouTube. I think if you are somebody who does something in multiple stages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I guess. So one of the things I think you could do here is mark like a cleaning schedule. So if there are things where you want to at least clean it once a month, or once every 2 months, once every 3 months, once every quarter, this would be a good place to track that. That's something I've always wanted to do and I've never done well. So that could be something I do here. I don't know how well that would work mid-year, but so maybe something like that. I think also this would work really well as a habit tracker, but I am not great at habit tracking. So again, I will not be using this for that. But there's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of things you could do with it. And you have, so there are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those, which is a lot. Then we have grid paper. So Anna and I were talking about this because I'm definitely a dot grid person, but Anna is a grid person. So she was like, yeah, I love it. It's got grid paper. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages of grid paper. And then for dot grid, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages of, or 11 pages of dot grid, but we have got the Laurel Denise information on the back. So there are a lot of note pages in the back of this for you to do other things. So if you were doing a big project, whether that's social media or not, I think you've got a ton of space where you can write that out. Let's say you were doing like a project in your garden or your house and you needed to draw some stuff out, really good space for that. So I love that. There's a lot to do in the back. Then we have the final page, and then we have that same pocket on the back, the heavy duty pocket, and then we have the back cover. So this is kind of the only downside. As I say, you kind of need the wire O to turn in order for you to be able to close the planner. It's just a thing with wire O. You know, you get used to it if you've had them, but it is just a wire O thing. So let's do a little bit of a pen test. I don't have every pen under the sun by any means, but I do have a reasonable collection of pens, it turns out. So I'm going to do a little bit of a pen test on this back page for you so that we can see how it does in terms of shadowing and how it writes and all that kind of thing. I write on an angle. I'm really sorry. I just do. So the main pen that I write with day in, day out in my memory planner is a Sharpie S Gel. I just love them. I'm going to test this one first because it's ultimately my favorite pen. So Sharpie S Gel. We'll test them all afterwards. So this one is what I was using in my Hobonichi. This is the Uniball, is that right? The Uniball 1 0.5, which may work better in this planner because it's a smaller nib than the Sharpie S Gel. So that may work better. The Laurel Denise team are very pro an erasable pen. I used to always use erasable pens in my planners, but I moved away from them because sometimes in the sun you can like lose the ink and they're not as black. I like the richness of a black ink, and these are sort of more of a grey. But let's try it because they're very pro it. So we've got the, I don't actually know how you spell friction. Is it friction? I don't know, but anyway. So you can see it's just not as black a pen, and I don't love it as much. But I'm also going to write it again and then erase it because they are very pro an erasable pen. So let's see how well it erases. Okay, interesting. I mean, it has a little bit of like the writing left behind, but an erasable pen always does. So I would say that's probably works pretty well. Then I have here a Unipin fine line, which I use sometimes in my Hobonichi pin fine line. Is this in a particular in 0.8? Then I have a couple of Tombow brush pens. So I have this is a Tombow Fudinesque. I'm not very good at brush lettering, just so you know. It's just not, particularly when I'm doing this quite fast. I know that's terrible. Tombow, I mean, really terrible. Like, I'm not, oh dear, I'm not really, I'm not focusing enough to do it. But that's the Tombow Fudinesque. And then I have here, this is also a Tombow Fudinesque. Oh, this one's a soft tip and one's a hard tip. So I think the other one was the soft tip and this is the hard tip. So it's a thinner outcome. Anyone who's good at brush lettering is watching me butcher using those pens. I'm so sorry. So the team are very anti-Sharpie. So I don't want to be that person, but I'm going to be that person just because I have one here. And I assume it's because a Sharpie bleeds through. I mean, I don't know why you would write with a thick Sharpie. I do have some thin Sharpies as well, but do I have one? Okay, we have this one. I mean, the lid's not on properly, so I'm not very hopeful. Haha, okay. So this is a Sharpie fine point. Oh, the smell of a Sharpie. Okay, then I have this one, which is a friction color pen. So again, generally the team are very pro these, and they actually sell the highlighters. I do have the highlighters somewhere, but maybe I threw them out because they dried out. But they are very pro. An erasable anything. And that erased very nicely, So that worked well. So we've got another friction there. Then I have some colored pens. So I'm going to try my Jelly Roll Moonlight just out of interest. I don't know if this is a pen you would use in here, but I have it, so we'll try it. I do have quite a few Jelly Roll pens. Then I have, let's try, this is just a mild liner. So in fact, let's highlight with the mild liner and then write with the mild liner as well. One thing I would also like to test, and this is more to do with the pen than anything else, is like if I wrote over the test, if I highlight over the pen, would it smudge? But I think that's actually more a pen thing than a paper thing. But I mean, not bad though. So, but I usually highlight first and then write over it, just in general. So then I have a Tombow. This is the Tombow 2.5. Tombow 2.5. I really should have picked like some consistent colors here. And then these are the dual brush pens. So I'm a big fan of those in my reading journal. And then this is brand new, so I've not even hauled this on my channel yet. I bought some Zig Clean Dot markers from Gretel Creates. I'm so interested to try this because this is 100% what I will be using in this, because I'm going to use them to like dot the monthly. So that's my first time ever doing a dot. That's so fun. Okay, so that's the dot pen test. So let us see how we are looking on the other side of the paper. So, okay, you can see why they're against the Sharpie. And that's fair enough. Sharpie bleeds through everything. And you wouldn't use a Sharpie like that. You wouldn't use one on this planner, The Sharpie fine point, though, held up pretty well. It's not terrible. It is the most shadowing, and shadowing is always really hard to see on camera. It's the most shadowing, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. So all the others, you can just see them, but it's really good. Like, you can't really see them too much at all. We've got a little bit of bleed from the Clean Dot marker, but bear in mind, this is the first time I've ever used it. So you can probably be lighter than I just was with it, because that was my first time. I just took it out of the packet for this video. So I think you could use most pens in here, and particularly as the tab pages are actually thicker. So I'm pen testing on a thinner page anyway than you would probably mostly be writing on, because you would mostly be writing on the tab pages. So that's definitely something to consider there. So what are my overall thoughts of this planner? I think you can tell, but I love it. I've probably spent about an hour talking about it now. I hope that you really like in-depth planner unboxings, because I take them really seriously. I watch a lot of planner unboxings to make a decision about buying a planner, particularly when it's expensive, particularly when I have to pay for shipping. I really want to make sure that I am investing my time in a product that is going to really help me, and I feel really optimistic that this planner is going to make a big difference to me. So I'm so excited to start using this. So that's the planner. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Is this just too much? Is it too big for you? Or do you think this is a really interesting concept? If you would like to see any videos with me using this planner, please let me know, because I would be really interested in filming them. I need to figure out how to do that, but I would be really interested to know if you would like to see them, so please let me know. I will also link to Laurel Denise in the description. You can check out their planners if you are interested in looking them up for yourself. But otherwise, that is it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate a like, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you'd subscribe to the channel, especially if you've discovered me just because of this video. I hope you'll stick around. We do a lot of fun stuff over here. It would be great to have you as part of the Peace Love Plan family. In the description, I will also link to my Instagram and my Goodreads if you want to check out any other content from me at any other times. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Bye!